Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh said he's not backing down, and he gave a rare TV interview tonight with his wife by his side.
His comments come as 3 women are coming forward with claims of sexual assault and as he gets ready to be grilled by a Senate committee on Thursday. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan has the lead details on this developing story. Dave?
This thing is starting to spin out of control, and Thursday will be quite the day, huh? First, there was Christine Blasey Ford, then there was Deborah Ramirez, and now there's a third accuser claiming she witnessed Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh's sexual misbehavior when they were in high school. And as the numbers grow, the political firestorm around the Kavanaugh nomination continues to explode and is getting out of control.
No, I've never sexually assaulted anyone, not in high school. Not ever.
In a warm-up for this week's widely anticipated Senate committee hearing on charges that he sexually assaulted a high school teenager in the early 1980s, Judge Brett Kavanaugh, in an interview with Fox News, left no doubt about what his testimony will be.
I am not questioning and have not questioned that perhaps Dr. Ford at some point in her life was sexually assaulted by someone in some place. But what I know is I've never sexually assaulted anyone.
Asked about the credibility of his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, Kavanaugh strongly denied the allegations against him and raised questions about the credibility of the charges.
I never did any such thing. Never did any such thing. The other people alleged to be there don't recall any such thing. If such a thing had happened, it would have been the talk of campus.
At one point, Kavanaugh went even further than saying he never sexually assaulted anyone.
I did not have sexual intercourse or anything close to sexual intercourse in high school or for many years thereafter.
Kavanaugh gave the rare interview after a second woman came forward with sexual allegations against him. 53-year-old Deborah Ramirez of Colorado told The New Yorker that as a student at Yale University, Kavanaugh had exposed himself at a drunken dormitory party, thrusting his penis into her face and causing her to touch it without her consent as she pushed him away. Jane Mayer wrote the article with Ronan Farrow.
We found another classmate who remembers hearing about it that night or the next day.
Classmates who were at the party told The New Yorker they don't recall Kavanaugh doing that. But Kavanaugh's Yale roommate, James Roche, a software CEO, told a San Francisco reporter today that Kavanaugh was frequently drunk and incoherent. He said he never saw Kavanaugh engaged in sexual misconduct, but called the story believable.
She is 100% credible.
And now attorney Michael Avenatti, who sued President Trump on behalf of adult entertainer Stormy Daniels, announced in downtown L.A. that he now represents a third woman who will soon tell all about Kavanaugh's sexual misconduct during their high school years in the 1980s.
The facts and circumstances about what she experienced and what she witnessed, I'm confident that people are going to find those credible.
His family has suffered. What's going on is not something that should happen.
Now President Trump has become Kavanaugh's defender-in-chief. He continues to sympathize with his Supreme Court nominee and says he's hopeful Judge Kavanaugh will be confirmed quickly.
It would be sad indeed if something happened to reroute.
Kavanaugh is participating in intense practice sessions ahead of Thursday's high-stakes hearing. The president is questioning what's motivating women to accuse Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct.
In my opinion, it's totally political. It is totally political.
And Republicans on Capitol Hill joined in attacking the Democrats, indicating that the campaign against Judge Kavanaugh is just short of a lynch mob mentality.
Even by the far left's standards, this shameful smear campaign has hit a new low.
And this from presidential counselor Kellyanne Conway on CBS This Morning.
It's starting to feel like a vast left-wing conspiracy.
We believe Dr. Ford! We believe Anita Hill! We believe Debbie Ramirez!
The new allegations are re-energizing protests on Capitol Hill. The chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee says he'll look into the new allegations, but Thursday's hearing with Christine Blasey Ford and Kavanaugh is still on, intensifying the pressure on Republican swing votes like Susan Collins.
When 15-year-old Christine tried to scream, her attacker covered her mouth so no one could hear her. Will Susan Collins listen to her now?
Has she made a decision about how she will vote on Kavanaugh?
She called for more information, more hearings, and I know there are hearings.
She has enough information.
Will she release
He's a sexual predator.
Now, Maine Republican Senator Susan Collins, who we just saw on that report, could in fact be a critical swing vote on the Kavanaugh nomination in the full Senate. Senator Collins told the political online website The Hill today that she feels Deborah Ramirez, Kavanaugh's second accuser, should speak with the Senate committee staff under oath. She said she believes committee investigators should reach out to Ramirez and invite her to answer their questions under oath about what she is alleging happened. Juan, Crystal, back to you.
All right, Dave, thanks so much.